Carl Sagan was like an American astrologer or astrologist, and he wrote an essay called The Little Blue Dot, and there's a video about it and everything. It's pretty incredible, and it's imagery that I can't get out of my head either. And the amazing thing is it talks about like how huge the physical universe is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard for us as humans to get our minds around how really vast it is. He makes the analogy like if the universe were a beach, Earth is one little grain of sand on this giant beach. Not unlike how I am one grain of sand on the beach if you're talking about Earth, 7 billion people. So sometimes it feels like we're really so insignificant, it's kind of hard to believe that Source is really there for us, because it's just so, and who gave thought to create all that other physical stuff? I mean, there's got to be something giving thought to all that.
This question has come up many times through the years. How can we get to the beginning of thought? And we've been explaining to all of you, more yesterday than today even, that your inner being is always looking forward, never back. And the reason for that is because we are eternal beings who are in the constant state of becoming. And so what is thrilling to us is the convergence of contrast, which causes the birthing of a new something, and then attention upon it takes thought forward, and that's where all of the exhilaration is. That's where all of the joy is. And so we really cannot, in any way that would satisfy you, answer a question about where any of it came from. We can only ask you to acknowledge what's here and to feel the expansion of it even as you are experiencing your now. It is logical when you look at it the way you were discussing from what you were reading and from your assessment of how many of you there are and how many galaxies there are and how many planets there are and how many whatever there are, that you could bring yourself through that conversation to a place of feeling insignificant. And everything that we've been talking about here today has been the opposite of that, because it isn't your insignificance that we want you to beat the drum of and add the engines on your train to. It's your significance, it's your importance, it's your value, it's the important part that you play. And the only way that we know that we could help an individual or individuals, because you're not alone in this, a lot do it, who have found some way to make themselves, through the numbers that they gather, feel insignificant, is by introducing you to the larger part of you who is never insignificant, who is connected with more and more and more and more and more. We've talked already today about how you are an extension of source energy. And when you are allowing yourself, through the thoughts that you think, through the resonant with source thoughts that you think, then you can feel the wholeness of who you are, the bigness, the importance, the value. But when you pinch yourself off from that, you're always going to feel bad. That's the discussion that we have all day, every day. Negative emotion is always the indicator that you are making yourself insignificant by not being part of the significant whole. Isn't that perfectly logical? Just think in terms of numbers and statistics as you understand them in your physical realm. People often think that there is power in numbers as they line themselves all up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 billion. And as they line themselves up, then they want to get together in clusters so that they can be significant, so that they can be important. But what we've noticed is that in their attempt to be significant by lining up with other humans or by lining up with other manifestations, is that they more often than not make themselves feel less significant than significant, because the more others they address and the more others they observe and the more others they take on, then the more they split their own energy and disconnect from the stream of bigness and wholeness that they really are. So it's such an interesting conversation. Of course, you can look at anything from whatever perspective that you decide to, but the prudent thing to do is to look at it from the perspective that feels right to you, that feels whole to you. Anything that makes you feel uneasy is not the perspective that your inner being holds. Anything that makes you feel insignificant is not the perspective that your inner being holds. So maybe we'd like to sort of do a little play on words and ask you to not be insignificant by pinching yourself off from your significance, by pinching yourself off from who you really are. But we get it. You just have to play with it until you find your way in it.
That's really good. I got that.
Yeah.
I want to ask for something. I'm here with infinite intelligence, so I want to make a momentum in the thing that I want. Because I never speak about what I want, and right now I want to speak about what I want.
We'll hear you.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, I want to clarify, amplify the subject of I want to build a career about being myself, about being able to help people just by being an example of being selflessly myself. And I want to write a book. Just want to be like that. I want to be free of all the stuff.
Have you lived anything where you weren't being that?
Yeah.
So you have some examples of what that feels like?
Yeah.
And do you have examples of how different things occurred to you and you overcame that?
Oh, thousands.
So you have a lot of material for a book.
Yeah, a lot of material.
Yeah.
For a lot of books. The thing is, yeah.
And so?
And so the thing is, like, when I'm not in it now, I'm punishing myself, saying, like, nobody's going to read it.
Well, that's getting a little old, isn't it?
Yes, totally. Yeah.
So why don't you cut it out?
That's why I'm here with infinite intelligence, saying, like, I want this momentum going and to have something to anchor my head when I get this stuff. Because usually it comes.
The thing about having a desire, like writing a book, in the gathering of the material for the book, sometimes there's emphasis upon what isn't working at the same time that you're finding the solution for what is. And sometimes that can put you in a sort of not moving in any direction place. And so there's a little bit too much empathy going on with those you are trying to help. And therefore you're holding yourself sort of where they are, and that's why the inspiration isn't taking over. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would say to ourselves the following sentences, not word for word, but this is the idea that we would be presenting to ourselves. I'm figuring it out as I go, and the inspiration is coming more and more, and I or no one will ever figure it out all at once. And I didn't come here to figure it out all at once. And I'm doing so much better than I once was doing. And I have such deep understanding about much of this. And now I'm at the point where I really want things to come out of the vortex and into my present experience. I really want to be the deliberate creator of my own experience. I want to actualize the things that I have been philosophizing about. I want the thoughts to turn to things. I want the thoughts to turn to things. I want to put my money where my mouth is. I want to be an example of what I know to be. I want to be a living example of someone who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on. I want to stand in alignment even when things come up to me that would ordinarily take me into a negative place. I want to hold my alignment with my source. I want to hold compassion for others rather than be so empathetic and go where they are. I want to be the deliberate creator of my own reality, and I want to witness it when others are being that too. I want to revel in the value that I have as I am offering myself into this world, and I want to look for value wherever I see it across the spectrum that is this life experience with all others. I want to fulfill my reason for being, which means I want new contrast in order to inspire me to new desires. But I also, more than anything, want to be in alignment with how Source sees all of this. This is my quest. This is what I'm about these days. I want to be in more consistent alignment so that the things that I've put into my vortex can be revealing themselves to me. I want this understanding to turn into something that not only I can see, but others can see too. Because I am a teacher, and I cannot teach what I do not know. And I know that there are masses out there that are wanting to understand this, that are wanting to know what I know. And so it is my powerful intention that no matter where I am, no matter where I'm going, no matter who I'm with, that I'm going to look for what I'm wanting to see. I'm going to get my guidance system activated in a way that it has never been activated before. I'm going to feel the power of the relationship between me and me. I'm going to know relative to every subject because I'm going to take the time to feel it. What my inner being means about this and what I mean about this in relationship to what my inner being means about this. I'm not going to be sloppy in my thinking. I'm not going to be lazy in my thinking. I'm going to be more precise in my thinking. And most of all, I'm going to begin to feel about me like my inner being feels about me. I know my inner being knows that I can do this. I know my inner being knows that I'm worthy. I know that my inner being knows that I have put so many things in my vortex, and my inner being is wanting them to come out where I can see them and play with them and where others can too. I know all of these things. I'm just now ready to stop talking about it and to begin doing it.
Oh.
Because I know that I am the creator of my own experience. I have the power to be deliberate in what I am about. I want my guidance system to count for something. If I feel negative emotion, I don't plan ever to ignore it again. I'm going to say, I've got negative emotion about this, which means my inner being has a different opinion. Inner being, what is your differing opinion about this? I now have the knowledge. It's time for me to apply it.
Yes. And
Really
it's
good.
because my inner being knows who I am.
Yes.
Because I feel it.
Yes.
So that's the best thing.
And
of all.
you know too. You often know too. We just did a rampage.
Yeah.
Leave it there. Don't talk yourself out of it.
No, I don't want to go anymore.
Really good. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. We had a really good day. We had a really good 2 days. You've had a really good energy shift. You're different than you were when you walked in the door. Your point of attraction is different, and your manifestations will reflect the difference that you have accomplished in your willingness to participate here with us. We like what's coming for you. We like what's here for you. We like what's in your vortex. And we are anticipating with such relish the sweet spot that you're going to be finding yourself in as you feel your own empowerment as the things that you have been desiring and the things that you've put in your vortices begin manifesting, coming out to play with you in the material world, in the manifested world, the way you knew they would when you decided to come. You are adding immeasurably, and we cannot even state it strong enough to you, to the understanding of the universe. Conversations like these that we've had today cause a improving of the set point of mass consciousness that accomplish two things. It makes others, as they stumble into it or find it deliberately, feel the resonance of alignment more significantly. And it also amplifies the awareness when they or you are not in alignment. And so all of this is good for the deliberate creating intent that you were born with. We really make too much of all of this. Through our never-ending words, you become more students of deliberate creation than we really want you to be. We would rather that you describe yourself as an enjoyer of life than a student of deliberate creation. We would rather that you describe yourself as a fun-loving otter of the universe than someone that is getting it done. We want you to lighten up and play more and love more. Love more. Love you more and love others more. And don't be mad at yourself when you see someone not as loving as you know they would really like to be. If you see them on the street bleeding, you want to help them. But when you see them on television hating, you kind of want to hate them back a little. And what you really want to do is just love them anyway. Don't let them make you empathize with something that you are not. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain in your voice.